Hare Krishna. This morning we will be reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 5, the cause of all causes. And today we will discuss the last verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskatyam naham cheva narottanam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jyamudirayat nastvayesya bhatrasu nityam bharata sevya bharvatu tamastuke bhakti bhavati naistike. Borloka kalpita patyam uvarlokosya nabitaham Svarloka kalpito muhtna itivaloka kalpana. The word-for-word translation. Borloka, the entire planetary system from Patal to the earthly planetary system. Kalpita, imagined. Padyam, situated on the legs. Bhuvaloka, the Bhuvaloka planetary system. Asya, of the universal form of the Lord. Nabitaha, out of the navel in the abdomen. Svarloka, the higher planetary system beginning with the heavenly planets. Kalpitaha, imagined. Murtna, from the chest to the head. Iti, thus. Va, either. Loka, the planetary systems. Kalpana, imagination. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Others may divide the whole planetary system into three divisions, namely the lower planetary systems on the legs up to the earth, the middle planetary systems on the navel, and the upper planetary systems Varloka from the chest to the head of the Supreme Personality. So a short purport. The three divisions of the complete planetary systems are here mentioned. 14 are imagined by others, and that is also explained. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Cause of All Causes. The verse again. Purloka kalpita padyam puvarloko syanabita svarloka kalpito muhtna itiva loka kalpana. Others may divide the whole planetary system into three divisions, namely the lower planetary systems on the legs up to the earth, the middle planetary systems on the navel, and upper planetary systems, Svarloka, from the chest to the head of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ahyana Timandasya Tyanjana Shalakaya Sakshvanmritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Nama Chichetayamanopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svamrupkadamyam Dadati Vatsvapadantikam Vandeham Shiru Shiyuda Padakamanam Shiram Vaishnavam Sha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajimam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parajana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivashakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kansna Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhani Sutadevi Panamama Haripriye Vancha Kalpta Vasha Kripasna Bevasha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gaurvani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sungavadi Paskachai Desatarane. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we learned in this chapter everything is connected with the Lord. That see here, this verse is a meditation from the lower planetary systems, the middle planetary systems, and the higher planetary systems. It's Burloka, Bur, and then Bhuvar and Svarga. Om Bhuvar Sva. That's the beginning of the Gayatri mantra. It means we meditate on the Supreme Lord, that in the form of the universe, the form of these three planetary systems, that but we learn especially from this chapter that everything is connected with the Lord, including us, and we are connected, we have a relationship. That is what it means. And according to how we see that relationship, according to our level of knowledge, that we understand the relationship in a certain way. Because it's mentioned in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, that second chapter. Vedanta tat tatvavitas tatvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sapyate. The great sages have concluded that the absolute truth has three phases, or three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So those who understand this, or who understand only Brahman, or accept Absolute as Paramatma, or accepting as Bhagavan, which is the source of Paramatma and the source of Brahman, they have all a transcendental relationship with the Lord. But those who don't have that transcendental relationship, they accept the universal form, or they may accept matter as what exists. It's also an energy of the Lord. So they are also meditating on the Lord in the form of matter. Like the karma kandis, they follow the pious instructions, the pious acts instructed in the Vedas to go to the heavenly planets, that their goal is material, but it's still within the energy of the Lord. And those who want liberation from material suffering, that will follow the yoga process of liberation, like Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, that Tapasya, that they are going to higher planetary systems, Janaloka, Tapasloka, and so on. And rarely those who accept the Lord as Brahman, who want to merge with Brahman and attain perfection, they merge with Brahman, the space between of the Brahma Jyoti between the spiritual and the material world. But the devotees, they have the complete transcendental relationship with the Lord. The devotees, they go to the Vaikuntha planet, Sokoloka Vrindavan. But it are all different relationships with the Absolute Truth. Therefore Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatamam prapatyante tamstadev vajamyam. Manu vartmane vartante manusya partha sarvasaha. It says, everyone, to the degree of surrender to me, according to their understanding, I reward them accordingly. So in that way, everyone follows my path. Because that's the idea. One has Brahman realization, that then hopefully next lives will come to Paramatma and finally become a devotee. That's the indirect path described in the Vedas. Indirect path, and that is scheduled, life after life after life. And finally you become a devotee. Because yes, the Karma Kandi, he does all these things to get to Svarga, but it's temporary. After some time, he has to come back and again do pious activities to go to Svarga. After a few lifetimes, one may think, what am I doing? I'm going up and down, that's all. And then one becomes interested because of their piety. They come to the point, who am I? I'm not this body, a spirit soul. Let's try to understand that. And then they come to the study of Vedanta, become jnanis, trying to understand the difference between matter and spirit, and takes also a few lives to come to that realization. Yes, I'm not this body, I'm spirit. But then the question comes, that's good to know. After it takes a few lives to realize that. But then the question is, they want to experience being a soul. Then they come to yoga. And if they get the perfection after a few lifetimes, they find Paramatma in the heart. And they understand this Paramatma is Krishna, all pervading in this universe, is the supreme, all under this universe, and controls material nature. That's nice. But then what happens with them? Nothing. They know that Paramatma is controlling material nature. They don't get out of it like that. That they may, like that, also merge with Brahman, a temporary situation. But then they have to understand what is Paramatma. Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna. And then they become devotees. So that's a very slow path. That's called the Pravriti Marg, the path of sense gratification, and gradually become purified by pious acts, and then study Vedanta, and then become a yogi, and finally, and then you come to these higher planets, Kshanarloka, Marloka, Tapaloka, and it is said that if they become devotees there, then at the end of the life of Brahma, they go with Brahma to the spiritual world, if Brahma is a pure devotee. So we have the good fortune in our Guru Parampara and in our universe, our Brahma is a pure devotee. And so everyone is searching for Krishna in different manifestations in this world. And that is what we learn. Just a moment. That is what we learn. That the light is better like that. Yes, that everything is a different manifestation of Krishna. It's partially realized in his impersonal and Paramajyoti, or as the all-pervading super soul dwelling in everything, and yes, in every atom. But Krishna is fully realized by his pure devotees. Therefore, finally, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization. And that Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, Prabhupada writes. Just as a devotee wants him. That's also explained in the Bhagavatam, this verse in the 9th canto. From Bhakti Yoga Parivarta Saroja Asesa Tuksena Buddha. Yeah, I forgot the Sanskrit, but it is said that the Lord reciprocates with the devotee. He appears when he becomes a pure devotee, his heart becomes purified. He appears in his heart in the form the devotee feels attracted to. Most devotees, just Krishna. For some it may be Lord Ram, like Hanuman, or other forms of the Lord. But Krishna reciprocates and appears in the form we feel him attracted to him. That is his exchange with his pure devotees. So pure devotees we find in this material world, but also, of course, in the transcendental abode, where they associate with him, where they render pure service to him, and they are all merged in transcendental bliss. But what do we learn from this chapter also is by the example of Brahma. In the beginning of this chapter, we have Brahma. Narada is asking questions to his father. He's asking, are you the cause of all causes? Are you the only creator? Independent? Are you independent? Or are you empowered by someone? Of course, Brahma was alone. There is nobody to check him. He could have said, yes, I'm the supreme. Sometimes people lie in this world. If they are sure, nobody can verify anyway. So I can say some lies. But Brahma was thoroughly honest and said, no, I'm not independent. I'm only the servant of the Supreme Lord. But also the process of devotional service. How did Brahma get all these realizations? That in the beginning he did tapa. That means austerities. That is, we don't need to have to do such severe austerities as Brahma did in the beginning for thousands of celestial years. He did tapasya. And then Krishna reciprocated and gave him knowledge to the heart. So that tapasya for us, is practicing devotional service under the instruction of the spiritual master. Understanding this process of devotional service, things we should do, things we should not do. And if we practice it with our whole heart and are sincere, that honest with ourselves, then surely we make spiritual advancement. So Brahma, another aspect in this chapter is Narada Muni is inquiring from Brahma. He's inquiring from the right authority. Brahma is self-realized. Brahma knows the creation because he's a secondary creator. He knows how the creation came about. So knowledge comes, we must get knowledge from the source of knowledge. Transcendental knowledge is beyond the perception of our senses, is beyond the understanding of with our brains, because they are material. With the brain, you cannot understand transcendental knowledge. You can only understand it theoretically. But the Vishyam, the realized knowledge is in our heart, but it's covered over. And Krishna, if we perform devotional service, he removes the covering. Because we are Satchidananda as a spirit soul. Chit means knowledge. We have all knowledge, but we are not perfect in knowledge. We have knowledge to a certain level, and but that knowledge is there in our heart. This knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. It had just to be revived. Therefore, devotional service, Srila Prabhupada said, is natural. It's nothing imposed upon the mind. No, it's not. It's natural because our relationship of love with Krishna is natural. Our relationship with this material world is unnatural and gets us in difficulty, causes misery, and so on. All these attachments. But how to get rid of this attachment? Very difficult. But it becomes easy when we become attached to Krishna. To become attached to Krishna, we must surrender to this process, willing to give up our attachments. Make the attachment to Krishna our priority. Then it will happen. If it's not our priority, when it remains second on the second place, then it will not happen. Purification of the heart becomes very, very difficult. So this is the process of devotional service, and applied by Lord Brahma in a very exemplary way. And before he started his service, he was praying for the Lord. Please empower me. Give me inner reflection that and protect me against Maya. So these things are very difficult for us to overcome this Maya. We need protection. We need to become afraid of Maya. Maya is there every moment. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, don't eat too much, not too less. But if you eat too much, Maya is there immediately. And you become diseased. That if you eat more than your stomach can digest, so many things happen. Then one starts to take supplements, all these things. But it doesn't take away the cause of the disease, which is the desire to control, the desire to exploit. That it's logical, because Krishna is a digestion, he says. That if you fill up your stomach with more than 80%, you give Krishna trouble, because digestion has to go on, and the stomach cannot handle it. So the body starts to get more blood to the stomach to get energy. And then the blood disappears from your brain. You become sleepy because the body has to take care of the digestion, and that's the first thing. Then. Anyway, all these instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita are so important. Try to follow them. Try to have a balanced life with Krishna in the center every moment. And then our life becomes auspicious. And Brahma was very exemplary, is very exemplary in that he appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as Brahma Haridas Thakur. Interesting. That he got a break. Because the break for Brahma, a human life is a split second. It's not long for him. But interesting that when Prabhupada was, I think, in the Berkeley place, the first place they had in the center of London. And one day they had after the darshan they had the kirtan, and the kirtan became very ecstatic. And after the kirtan, the devotees went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, the kirtan became so ecstatic, what happened? And Prabhupada said, did you not see? Lord Brahma and Narada were here. Interesting. And Prabhupada instructed the pujaris to make 2 little seats at each and place them at each side of the altar, one for Brahma and for Narada. If you go to Soul Street, you see these small seats are still there. So Brahma, Brahma, he has a body of pure intelligence. But we see he's the head of all this, the source of practically 33 million demigods. But do you see temples of Brahma worshipped? Rarely. There is one temple of Brahma in Pushkar in Rajasthan, but it's rarely seen that Brahma is worshipped. But yes, so much to learn from Brahma. Brahma received the 4 Chaturslokis verses of the Bhagavatam, that from which the Bhagavatam expanded. And that is also what Srila Vyasadeva first received to his heart when he meditated on the Absolute Truth, and the whole Bhagavatam expanded from that. But transcendental knowledge is beyond the pursuit of our senses. We cannot see Krishna. It's not possible. The Vedic methods of pratyaksha, sense perception, anuman, logic, are all useless for understanding the Absolute Truth. Because we accept in this world what we see, we accept as reality. But it's a relative reality. You don't see the super soul working behind it. So what's the use of your seeing? You see the surface, but what's of a deeper level going on, we don't see. But when we hear the Bhagavatam and study the Bhagavatam, relish the Bhagavatam, you get to know this deeper truth. You get to know this deeper truth. So yes, this is the end of this chapter. Lord Krsna is a cause of all causes. For us conditioned soul, it's inconceivable but by the transcendental knowledge in the Bhagavatam, we start to understand what's really going on in this world. What we can't see, and what's beyond our perception. And then we wake up to the transcendental reality that we are servant of Krishna, and that we all have a beautiful relationship with him. And reviving that relationship is what will give us only full satisfaction. Without Krishna, there cannot be any satisfaction. Thank you. Is there any questions, comments? No. Good. If there are no comments, questions, then I look forward to see you next week. Next week, the class will be on Tuesday and Wednesday, on normal times. And the week after, I'm in Mayapur, then we have to skip 1 week. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
His Bhakti Prabha Maharaj ki jai.
Bye.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.